So we are good to go again. So in this class, I'll let you know about the neuroembryology and like a basic concept of neuroembryology, and then like how it works in the system, and then we will try to go in the like a primary vesicles of the brain. Also, we'll try to see some of the basic structure of the brain as well. Now, there's a trilaminar embryo. Every one of you know that. Okay, so trilaminar trilaminar embryo, right? So in that, you have three parts. I'm not interested in all three as long as neuro works, but yeah, the first one is endoderm, another one is mesoderm, and last one is ectoderm. Can anyone tell me where the where exactly the nervous system come from? Anyone? Just type in the comment. It comes from ectoderm. Okay, so in the ectoderm, you have two parts. One is, tell me, you are right. Okay, no problem. I will only tell. Neuroectoderm, and then another is surface ectoderm. Cool. So in surface ectoderm, again, we will not be interested. Anyone can tell me, like at least single system? Just type in the comment which comes from endoderm, which comes from mesoderm. Okay, yeah, and then surface ectoderm. Surface ectoderm, as the name also says, the skin, nail, all these get come out from this ectoderm later. But neuroectoderm is something where exactly our nervous systems come from. Okay, so this will have two division basically. One will be what? Neural tube, and another is what? Neural crest. Neural crest. Peripheral nervous system, PNS, ganglia, nerves, whatever the part of PNS is, it comes from neural crest. But neural tube is something which gives rise to the CNS, oligodendrocytes. What is oligodendrocyte we were talking about? These are the supporting cells for the central nervous system. But in the peripheral nervous system, supporting cells are like, tell me, swan cells, right? In physiology, like I have detailed that, but these are very, very important cells. We will come on that later. Okay, and name one ganglia which is present in CNS. Just one ganglia. I hope you can do it. It's very popular. So neural tube is something which gives rise to CNS. Okay, yeah. So as long as the vesicles concern, okay, there are brand vesicles. So I will go with the red here so that you can see that. So three primary brand vesicles. Three primary brand vesicles. Okay, so it's like very nice to understand this concept is very, very important also, as we are going to see the basic structure of the this as well. Okay, this is our brain schematic. Now there are three vesicles, as I told you. Okay, so first you could remember progencephalon. Second one is what? Mesencephalon. Okay, and third one, what we are going to see is rhombencephalon. Okay, rhombencephalon. Progencephalon. This is what is forebrain. How will you remember forebrain? Means front part of the brain, forebrain. Mesencephalon, you could remember like a mesocompound. I don't know whether you remember in chemistry. Mesocompound is something like a mirror. Like if you cut from the half, it will have a mirror image of each other. Okay, so mesencephalon, M for meson. So this is something is mid brain. Okay, and then rhombencephalon is something like a hind part of brain, hind brain. Till here you can remember. Okay, these terms are really important. They are going to ask you in viva, no doubt about it. You can't say this is from the first year. You have to remember whole year, whole life, if you are like set to continue the profession. So progencephalon, we will go with the two part in this diencephalon, and then on top I should have written first is telencephalon. Okay, midbrain. So I'll tell you what it is. Rhombencephalon, it will have also two part. Metencephalon, and then another will be myelencephalon. Myelencephalon. Okay. Why did I tell you this? Because this is very important to understand. These part are going to give rise the part of the brain later. Okay. So telencephalon. Telencephalon is something which gives which part of the brain? Anyone can say? Anyone? No? Okay. No problem. I'll tell you. So this is the very important and on top, like the highest point where it gives the cortex. Okay. Cortex, basically cerebral cortex. Okay. Now, another part which is most important it gives is the basal nucleus, what we say as the popularly called basal ganglia. Okay. Diencephalon, later it gives which all part? Anyone can tell? Hypothalamus and then thalamus. If you see structure wise, this is like that. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, and then this part mesencephalon goes for midbrain. See how systematically you can remember. Melencephalon will go for, it will go for, very easy to understand, pons and cerebellum. Okay, and then melencephalon will go for last part, last major part which was remaining is medulla. Okay, now, uh, can we have you know okay, well, just 1 minute. Hypothalamus is a complex organ. I mean, you must be knowing about it right from your first year. It will have epithalamus. Okay, it will have, yes, you're right, mammillary bodies. What is function of mammillary bodies? Anyone? One function, and that is enough. And last part is what it is called? Thalamus. Okay, I differentiated color so that you don't get confused. Okay, now, like these major part of the brain, let us see function one by one. Cortex, it has all motor, sensory, executive, judgment. You know, this is the most critical thinking part of the brain. That's where it is important. What is function of basal ganglia? Anybody? Anyone? Then what is the function of uh, Alexa? Stop. Alexa, stop. Then what is the function of cerebellum? Balance and coordinates, right? No problem. Remember this thing for lifetime. What I'm writing: execution of learned or learnt movement. What is learned movement? You know how to write. So next time, first time, your parents taught how to write ABCD. Okay, and you practiced enough, and now you don't need anyone's help. You can write sh, right? How it works? This is the execution of learned movements. You learned guitar once, you are able to do it. You learned swimming, you are able to do it. So next time if anybody asks you what is the function of basal ganglia, what will be your answer? What will be your answer? That's where I like, because I also learned from my like teacher same way. Okay, let us have very systematic. Good, nice, very nice. I like interaction when it goes. Okay, well, what is the function of like basically hypothalamus? Too many functions, huh? Too many functions. So thalamus function, let us see. It is like a switchboard of a phone exchange, like hypothalamus and thalamus, this part. So it's basically the work of relay station, right? When it comes to like a hypothalamus function, basically our subthalamus function, what is that? Thermoregulation. Very important, right? Thermoregulation. Then you have even the glucose states. It sees, whenever your glucose is dropping, your thalamus is sensing that, and that's where you get hungry. Do you know that? That's where you get hungry. So there is something called I don't have that space, but we will, when we come to these parts, no, in anatomy, like basic, when we will go for the symptoms of this part, when we will be learning those time, we'll be seeing it with detail. There is something called satiety center. You know what is satiety center? Anyone of you have heard it? Satiety center? Anyone? Satiety center means satisfaction with the food. Okay, satisfaction with the food. So basically, like suppose your glucose level is down, and then that's where you feel like hunger. Okay, so even the satisfactory index has reached or not, this is something called the satiety center. Okay, so this is where the subthalamus, I mean subthalamus part of hypothalamus control. And what about mammillary bodies? Anyone? Mammillary bodies, basically memory. Okay, higher function. Okay, midbrain basically is the eye reflexes or eye movement basically. Okay, so pons. Okay, we'll come on this later, no problem. Cerebellum, as you know, like equilibrium and balance. Here also there are a lot of catch we will see when we see the related disorders. Lot many functions. Medulla, cardiovascular center is there. Respiratory system center is there. Yes. Vomiting center is there. Right. Anything else is there? Important. Swallowing center is also there. Nice. So this is the basic, like a description of when we see like how to go about it and how to see this, you know. So anyone want to ask anything question here? Because after this we will go for something different. You didn't tell me the function of pons. I was waiting. Then I switched to cerebellum. Related to breathing and when it is a sleep cycle. Basically, the sleep awake. Okay, sleep cycle. That time, whatever the unconscious part is there, like pons is deeply related with that. Okay, so for now we will not study very deep right now. Okay, this will be something like a very very basic of understanding how these different part are called and how it works. Okay, how to remember, let me tell you in another basic fundamental, like one just one small picture, but we will be able to understand and remember all these part encephalon based, because they ask sometimes how do you think, like where the diencephalon is situated, where it is situated. So suppose I'm there and you have taken a frontal view of my brain I'm talking about, not a spinal cord, frontal view of my brain. How will it look? Let me ink it. So just a schematic diagram so that you can understand. Schematic presentation. Okay, we will say the frontal view so that you can remember these things, otherwise it is difficult and later you could forget it. So before before we finish the class, this part let us finish. Okay, these two hemisphere will be there. Take it as a similar. This is what is cerebral cortex. Okay, cross sectional view I'm showing you. behind part, consider this please. So this is my frontal view, okay, schematic diagram. So this is what is called as forebrain, okay, forebrain part. What we say that time is prosencephalon. Okay. Now there was a part called midbrain, that is mesencephalon. So we'll write it as a midbrain only right now, midbrain. And then this is the part is this much part is called as hindbrain, rhombencephalon, right? And this you should not be confused with. So this is these two bodies, no, like these two part are the, what is that, diencephalon. You remember some time back we saw that diencephalon and telencephalon is the part, and this is the part which is called telencephalon. In frontal part I'm showing you telencephalon. These all are constituting together is prosencephalon. Okay, they'll be asking you mid brain is what, is mesencephalon. ये part जो है ना mid brain की तरह ले लो आप. And this part which is covering from behind is what, cerebellum. Okay, cerebellum. And what is this part? Pons. What is this part? Medulla. Simple, very simple. Keep life simple. Don't make it complicated. ओके, सो ये मेरा हेड है. आपने फ्रंटल पार्ट देखा और आपने देखा that there is a diencephalon down and then telencephalon from top. Together that is constitute the forebrain. That is what is called as prosencephalon. Then you have a mesencephalon. Then you have a hindbrain structures. That is something called the rhombencephalon, right? How to remember this? You know, डायनसेफ्लॉन नीचे है, इसको देख रहा है तो ऐसे देखो, लाइक वेरी वेरी सीनियर प्रोफेसर एंड वेरी गुड टीचर आई कुड से, from where I learned. D for Dinah. Dinah is, like Dinah is somebody, I think I was reading somewhere, she is very beautiful and very popular in the world, one princess or queen, I don't remember, but somewhere I learned. Okay, so like she is sitting here on a crown, like on a throne, sorry, or whatever, on the on her. This is the center of attraction, and there are many telescopes which is seeing her. Okay, so what is that? Telencephalon, then diencephalon. You'll remember nicely. So tomorrow, if they ask you a question, you say that this is where the diencephalon works. This is how the telencephalon works. This is how the function of you know this part is clear. Anybody has any question till now? After that, only we will see some 5 minutes technique. Any question you have in this particular position? Like whatever we saw in the neuroembryology? No, right? Okay. One more concept today we will see, and then after that we will stop the class. The concept is very simple, 5 minutes concept, just for your remembrance. Like what happened? 99% of doctors don't say this while like discussing teaching or whatever. I actually wanted to go like away from these things and wanted to make more interesting for you. So suppose this is the brain part, okay, and this is the our famous cerebellum, and then the pons, medulla, and then midbrain is somewhere here, very well, right? You know what, this is what you say, this is a brain part. Okay, I'm coming on this. Why did I just 5 minutes I wanted to take your time? This is the cross section of a spinal cord. Akansha is there in the class? Okay, Understanding, Akanksha, whatever I'm telling you? Okay, you might feel now it is like, little difficult, but yeah, I mean, with time it will be easy. Don't worry. Okay. Now, just initially 5 6 classes are always like this, bit boring. Suppose we divide this brain into two parts, like forward and backward. I mean, two part, front and back. That's all. Just a common division. Nothing like. I'm not saying that. Uh, it is an observational division. Okay. As I said, you this is anterior median feature, so this will be anterior part. This will be the posterior part, and this is the brain's anterior part, and this is the posterior part. One thing very common. Most of the time you will see that there are always exceptions when you study medicine or biology. Let me tell you, there was a saying also, biology is a science of exception. So forget about exception right now, but in general there is a rule that sensory part always go into the posterior, wherever, always go into the posterior, and motor parts come from the anterior. I mean, the motor activities come from the get initiate from the anterior part of the brain. In general, this is an observation. Okay, just keep in your mind for your eg this one. Here also you see that time we were talking about posterior horn pe sensory part aata hai, right? We were talking about this, no? Sense stimulus se sensation aata hai, then activity goes from the anterior part, right? Anterior horn. Clear, no? So here you can see even in the spinal cord, even in the brain, these activities are same. I mean to say, suppose do you know about Wernicke area? Any one of you? Wernicke area, understanding the speech, okay? Understanding this, anyone's talk, speech, anything, okay? If this area is here, okay, the Broca's area will be somewhere here, this part. If somebody is like, primary visual cortex, what you say, like, actually, somebody is able to feel the senses, and we will study these all things very clearly. Then our motor activity comes from here. Okay, all the sensory seat is more or less it is in the posterior part, and all the motor activity get originated from the anterior part in general. Here to very well, right? Motor means efferent, sensory means efferent comes, efferent effect. Okay, sensation comes, motor activity does effect in reflex arc. Okay, so this was just a plain 5 minutes. I wanted to take your time for observation. This is how it goes. Do you have any confusion in commandments or under the heads we studied today? Any one of you? Any kind of confusion? Or you feel that you want to just work out on this and come back? Today we studied about neuroembryology, very short, which is very important. Usually they ask you where the PNS system come from. If you say from it is from ectoderm, no, you have to tell neuroectoderm and neural crest it comes from. Neural tube is something which is a CNS formation, which gives the CNS formation. Then you have a three primary vesicles. Okay, proper vesicles it comes from how progencephalon front part, like four part, then mesencephalon, rhombencephalon. Okay, how it gives the different part, and then it comes into better, it gets organized, and it gets developed into higher part of the brain. And that's how the human brain is so exceptional, because of because of thinking analytical ability, thinking and analytical ability. Okay, so cerebral cortex should be very good. Now, one more interesting question: who has more gray matter, male or female? Okay, learn about it and come back. So this was for today.